Welcome to Lily's CubeSat Simulator demonstration video. We recently got this AMSAT CubeSat Simulator completed. The construction of it took several months, and just yesterday we got the neat little rotating turntable which will simulate the satellite tumbling through space. This is the actual size of a lot of the CubeSats that are going up. It's a 1U CubeSat, which basically means it's 10 by 10 by 10 centimeters. It does have solar panels. It has several data modes, CW or Morse code mode, and a slow scan TV mode. And when this side comes around, you can see it's got a Raspberry Pi camera on it to take pictures, and it will transmit those pictures at this frequency, 434.9. The sound you hear is the data under voice telemetry that's coming from the CubeSat, and the radio is picking that up since they're right next to each other. The remove before flight tag is a simple 1/8 inch jack, and all that does is when you plug it in, it opens all the switches so that the Raspberry Pi, which is the brain of this thing, won't accidentally be turned off or on. When you pull this out, it closes the switches to power up the Raspberry Pi and turns the CubeSat on. There's the little bitty 440 megahertz antenna. That is also being picked up by this little antenna here on the RTLS Dr, which is a very small software-defined radio that plugs right into the computer and uses the computer as basically the engine to decode all the signals, all the digital or analog radio signals. This is a pretty broad coverage, general coverage receiver, but right now I've got it receiving on UHF. And this is the signal. You can see it right there, 434.9 megahertz. The data signal is there in the blue at the top, and the eye diagram will show that it's getting a pretty clear signal. So if I change this to CubeSat Simulator, FSK, this is the Fox to Limb, which is the app I'm using here. It's getting the signal from the RTLS Dr, and it is decoding all the data. The second row of boxes here is the battery health, the power supply voltage, and all under the far right there is the environment sensor that has temperature, altitude, humidity, etc. The 6 boxes at the bottom are basically showing current and voltage from the 6 solar panels on the CubeSat. And if I click on, let's look at the current for this plus Y. And if you click on that, it'll actually show you a graph of the voltage, rather, not current, the voltage as it changes, because as it's turning in space, the light's going to change on it, and that voltage will change, and at its peak it's just below 5 volts. It's like 4 point something. If I had this out in the sun, it would be 5 volts and above, and that would actually charge the battery. But here it's just showing you voltage. It's not going to get much current at all, but it's gonna read pretty good voltage with just this little lamp I'm using to simulate the sun. So this is a short short video about how this works. I'll get into some more details later, but building this and just watching it simulate a satellite in space is a really great way to learn the very basics of how satellites work. So Lily and I have been working on this for a long time, and it's turned out pretty well. And in future videos I will show different modes like slow scan TV and Morse code and APRS. So thanks for watching.